On the 23rd of April 2023, we ordered a couple of items from a company calling itself Potressis.com. We failed at the time to notice these Chinese characters in the browser tab. We received a prompt confirmation of our order with the following at the bottom of the email. Checking back on the order details, we realized that we had mistyped our address, so we contacted the company and asked them to correct it before the order was dispatched. They acknowledged this, again very quickly. Then they provided us with a link to a new URL, which they asked us to use for all future communications. This was a Chinese website, a fact that we chose to ignore, having already proceeded this far. Again, the browser tab displayed Chinese characters. Using this website with translation switched on, we were directed to this tracking link, which eventually informed us by early June that the goods we had ordered had been delivered. We immediately advised the company that we hadn't received them, and they suggested contacting neighbours, which we did, in case there'd been a slip-up by the carrier. With that avenue exhausted, the company immediately issued a full refund. Correspondence over this issue had been with individuals calling themselves Violet and Sweetie. Meanwhile, in early May, we had spotted this advertisement for a very attractive bedding set from a company calling itself prettyhour.com. We had no idea at that time that this was the same company as Potressis.com, and we had placed an order on the 9th of May. It now appears that they skimmed the main image of the bedding from a legitimate company's website. They were offering this set for around 1/10 of the Veneto design price, although at that time we were unaware of the legitimate offering, so we had nothing against which to compare it. It did sound quite a bargain to us, but not ridiculously cheap. Otherwise we might have been more cautious. Again, we failed to spot the Chinese characters in the browser tab. Confirmation of our order came from the domain rulxion.com, a fact that we didn't notice at the time. Yes, I know, it's been a succession of observational failures on our part. And at the bottom of the email was the following. By the 5th of June, we'd not received the goods, so we checked out a tracking link, which, after translation from Chinese, advised us, to our horror and disbelief, that the bedding set had actually already been delivered to our address. This was exactly the same bogus claim we were encountering at that time with the earlier order for clothing from Potressis.com, but for which we did admittedly get a full refund. Amazingly, it didn't immediately occur to us to put two and two together and spot that it was the very same company. That realization only came later. So on the 5th of June, we wrote to the company as follows. On the 6th of June, they replied. Our reply, also 6th of June, On the 8th of June they wrote our reply the same day, and also on the same day we received the following. We replied immediately, and again the same day they responded further. We thanked them for their response on the same day, and then on the 10th of June they wrote, on the 7th of July we responded. On the 8th of July they said, and on the 12th of July we said. The following day they replied. On the 21st of July we wrote. The next day they responded. I immediately replied. The following day they wrote, to which I immediately responded. On the 24th of July they wrote. The following day I replied. The company replied on the 26th of July. On the 27th we simply said, and then on the 28th, the same day the company responded with, prompting our instant reply. Unbelievably, on the 29th they continued. We simply responded. The final reply from them on the 30th of July once again said, correspondence over this issue was with a succession of individuals calling themselves Pat, Elena, Liana, Ada, Lynn, World, Fyra and Amber. Although I say individuals, I suspect that the messages weren't from specific people, rather that they were system-generated responses with random names applied. There's been no further contact with the company since the 30th of July, and we've been collating information on the issue ready for publication. Curiously, we've now spotted that although we were querying our second order with the company and correctly identified it at the beginning, throughout our subsequent correspondence with them they were referencing the order number for the products for which they'd already issued a refund. Clearly their internal processing systems were mixing the two up. During this time, we've tried to visit their websites, where the following now appears. We've subsequently checked online for other people's experiences with this company and have discovered that many have suffered the same fate as us. This is reported on a number of websites such as Trustpilot, ScamWatcher and YouTube. We're now adding our own offering here on YouTube in the hope that at least a few people might be spared the cost and inconvenience of dealing with this unscrupulous outfit. Finally, the lesson we've learned is to only order from companies that we recognise the names of, and to watch out for any indications that they might be based in China. And as always, very low prices should of course be a red flag, whether on or offline.